Spells are one of the main damage dealing tools in Elden Ring, and obviously Recluse is one of the best Nightfarers in the game because she has escading in both intelligence and fate that allows her to use both sorceries and incantations effectively. However, Nightrein works differently. Most of the incantations in Nightrein scale only with fate, which makes Revenant a strong pick for incantation builds as well. After testing both characters, it is clear that unlike in the base Elden Ring where some incantations scale with both fate and intelligence or fate and arcane, the majority in Nightrein scale only with fate. This means Recluse and Revenant deal similar damage with incantations. The key difference is that Recluse can focus on other types of spells like sorceries, while Revenant can summon Spirit Ashes and is more flexible with weapons that benefit from affinities like Bleed. So let's start with the first one, Two Finger Incantations. I've already told in my recent video that seals have a default incantation already, but the second incantation is very random, and that makes finger seal important too. Because sometimes you might spot a good incantation on a finger seal, and the only thing you need to do is upgrade it to +2 by using Smithing Stone 1 and 2. The default incantation for a finger seal is Rejection, a good defensive two-finger incantation, especially for a Revenant user that has low HP. Sometimes you can spot a finger seal with a golden bow. You know how good GB in Elden Ring, casting it before a night boss might help you defeat them. There are also good two-finger incantations in the game. I think the useful incantations are the heal and the fortification spells, but most of the time, players avoid these. Equipping one, especially for those Nightfarers who don't usually use FP and already running out of flask, bringing one with heal might save your runs. The next tiers of seals are uncommon seals, which are Gravel Stone Seal, Giant's Flame Seal, GODSLAYER Seal, and a Clawmark Seal. Gravel Stone Seal has a default lightning spears. It is really a good weapon for Night Lords like Maris and Fulgur. I managed to defeat them by just using lightning spears. All you need to do is find a Gravel Stone Seal and upgrade it with Smithing Stone 2 to make it rare and increase the incant scaling. For the relics, if you want to have more damage, you can use the improved Dragon Cult incantation that gives 12% increased damage to Lightning Spear. And the good thing here is that it stacks, so you can equip up to 3 relics that improves Dragon Cult incantation. There are also relics that is lightning attack power up that gives 5% increased damage to your lightning spear. In this way, you can literally cheese enemies and night lords by throwing lightning spears. And this incantation have the same FP cost with Black Flame. You need to stack FP shards at least 2 to 4 before fighting a night lord. There are also good Dragon Cult incantations like 46 Lightning Spear and the Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike. A dormant power that might help you increase the attack power is the Boost the Magic, Fire, Lightning, and Holy Affinities. Next one is Giant's Flame Incantation. One of the best way to get a Giant's Flame Incantation is through Giant's Flame Seal. Its default incantation is the Flame Sling. It deals a good damage for Night Lords that has weakness to fire. There's a lot of good incantations in Giant's Flame, like the Burnout Flame, good for AoE damage for big enemies like Caligo and Noster. Also, Flame Grant Me Strength is also a good way to increase your fire affinity attack power. You can also increase your fire attack power through relics. There's a lot of good Giant's Flame incantation and some can be spotted not only in Giant's Flame Seal, but to other seal as well. So you better check all of the second incantation of each seal you'll loot. GODSLAYER seal is one of my biased seal in the game. The default Black Flame incantation for a GODSLAYER seal is Black Flame. It deals a lot of damage early game. It does burn bosses with huge amount of HP because of the Black Flame DOT that depends on HP. A solid choice for early game, and you might consider getting it as your weapon. There are also an increased damage in relics like the improved GODSLAYER incantations. For more increased damage, you're lucky if you have a improved GODSLAYER incantations and a fire attack power. That can help you fight bosses early. Clawmark Seal. I don't usually use this, but it can be a good staggering incantation due to its default incantation, which is Bestial Sling. There are also an increased damage by using the relic improved bestial incantations. The only problem is the range of its default incantation, Bestial Sling. You need to be close on the enemy and cast it. The only pro of using a Bestial Sling is it doesn't really cost a lot of FP in Nightrein. For the rare seals, let's first talk about Dragon Communion Seal. The seal have a default incantation of Dragon Fire. It can do a lot of AoE damage, especially if the enemy is big. There's a lot of good Dragon Communion incantation in the game, like majority of it deals AoE damage. One of the interesting Dragon Communion incantation that I got in the game is the Theodoric's Magma. It burned Caligo like I'm chasing the Night Lord. Placidusac's Ruin is also a good incantation that can literally deals a lot of damage and also the highest FP cost. If you're aiming for a fire DCI, you can increase its attack power through relics such as Fire Attack Power Up and improve Dragon Communion incantations. If you have Rot such as Rotten Breath and Excites Decay, you need attack power up when facing Scarlet Rot afflicted enemy and improve Roar and Breath attack. Using this relic is very general, especially if your seed is against you. Majority of the Dragon Communion incantations are breath. It will increase your breath attack damage. There's also a unique dormant power that adds anti-dragon armament to your Dragon Communion incantations. So it's really a good fit, especially for a Night Lord like Caligo. Dragon Communion incantations casting takes a lot of time, and that's one of the reasons why it really fits the Revenant. You can summon a family to aggro the enemy, and you'll have a window to cast incantations. Let's go for the Golden Order incantations. The default of its seal is the Disgust of Light. To be honest, this is pretty OP, especially against the Night Lords that has Holy Weakness. It acts like a boomerang, it goes back to where you cast it and doubles the damage. The casting can be spammable and the FP cost is very cheap. If you don't have any good counter affinity weapons, having these can already win you a run. The Triple Rings of Light and Radagon's Ring of Light also deals a lot of damage, but the only problem is the casting time. It's pretty slow, and that's the reason why it is not efficient for boss fights that is very fast and continuously attacks. The default one, Discus of Light, is already good enough to spam attacks in bosses. If you can find the relic to boost its attack, it is the improved Fundamentalist incantations. Also, choosing a dormant power of Improved Affinity Attack Power will make you increase your Holy Attack. ERDTREE incantations. The default incantation for an ERDTREE seal is the Wrath of God. I don't usually use ERDTREE incantations in the game, but it's a good addition for buffs like Golden Bow. This is the most useful buff. Golden Bow is the go-to general purpose buff. It increases both attack power and defense for you and nearby allies. Some of the incantations are heals, and the Elden Stars is pretty OP too. That deals good damage, but it costs a lot of FP. But if you have given a chance to choose, I think choosing ERDTREE Seal with the default Wrath of Gold is not a good choice. You rather pick a good stats increasing dormant power. Also, you can find an ERDTREE incantation on finger seals. If it is just for the buff and heals, it is not good to sacrifice a good weapon or stats for an ERDTREE Seal with the default Wrath of Gold and a random second incantation. Frenzied Flame Incantation. You can find Frenzied Flame Incantation on finger seals and other seals too. But if you want that Frenzied Flame seal that has the default incantation of Flame of Frenzy, you need the World Event Madness Field, where you should defeat all the enemies that it's in Madness. After that, you'll be given an orb and you can choose the Frenzied Flame seal. Frenzied Flame Incantation can deal fire damage, so it means that it is good too for Noster and Calico. I use Flame of Frenzy to defeat Noster since it is a huge AoE damage. I don't worry about the madness build up on myself because it deals a lot of damage in the enemy. The Unendurable Frenzy and Frenzied Burst are good Frenzied Flame incantations too. If you spot one, you might use it since it can deal a lot of damage. No one can escape madness. You can also increase attack power by equipping fire attack power up and of course the improved Frenzied Flame incantations. Other incantations included in Nightrein is a Blood Oath incantations and Servants of Wrath incantations. For the Blood Oath incantations, this is quite helpful for bleed build-up since majority of the weapons in Nightrein have bleed affinity. Since you're a caster, having a Blood Flame Talons or Blood Boon can help bleed build-up and can finish runs easily. We also know that the Blood Flame Blade increases its attack by fire, so it's good to take note of those. A Dormant Power fits in this incantation is a blood loss in vicinity increases attack power. For the Servants of Wrath incantations, I think the useful one here is the Poison Armament. I've used it in the fight with Adele since I don't have any poison weapon, and its weakness is poison. I also encountered having a Scarlet Aeonia in a run, but casting it takes a lot of time. Maybe it's a good incantation for multiplayer, not solo. There are also relics that can increase attack power, such as attack power up when facing Scarlet Rot afflicted or Poison Rot afflicted enemy. And you can use a dormant power of Poison and Rot trigger continuously HP recovery, where poisoning or Scarlet Rot in vicinity continuously restores HP. So yes, these are the important incantations in the game, and I hope I help you to know what incantation you should prioritize in each runs. Just don't forget to choose the correct dormant power that corresponds with your build. Always choose the race's attack of fire, magic, lightning, holy affinities, increase maximum FP, reduce FP consumption, raises potency of sorceries and incantations, Dragon Communion incantations add anti-dragon effect to armament. When you have DCI and fighting a dragon, also applicable if you're in a mountaintop shifting earth. I think that's it. I hope you learn what incantation you can spam to your next run. Good luck.